Yo, can we talk about how like all the kids nowadays are just literally being raised on technology? When I was a kid, all the kids would come outside. Every kid in the neighborhood was playing outside. We were playing dodgeball, hide and seek, tag, freeze tag, whatever. We were doing something outside. If the weather was nice outside, we went outside. If even if it was snowing, we'd all come outside. We'd have snowball fights and everything. We'd make snow forts. But now, I barely see kids outside. And and there are younger kids in my neighborhood, right? I mean, the older kids, like even the kids my age, like they don't even go outside anymore. Like I take a walk pretty much every day around my neighborhood, and I rarely see people my age. And another problem that happens is that when I walk past someone, usually you're supposed to make eye contact with someone while you walk past them, smile and say hi or what's up or whatever and just walk past. It's just like a simple gesture. It's polite. It's the normal thing to do. But nowadays, and I used to do this, while you're walking past someone, they will purposely not make eye contact with you. They'll look around, they'll look down. Like when they see a person coming, I used to do this too. I used to do this a lot. And I only realized how much of a problem it was after I started trying to be more social. So when I walk past someone, they're trying not to make eye contact with me. Clearly, right? It's very easy to tell. And then I want to make eye contact with them because I just want to be a polite person. I want to make eye contact, smile, and just walk past, whatever. But if I do that, if I make eye contact, then they're going to feel more uncomfortable. They're going to think, why is this person looking at me? What are they doing? Because I mean, that was a headspace I was in when I was like that. So I'm just assuming that's what other people are thinking when they're doing the same actions as I was. But yeah, like, what is, people don't even make eye contact anymore. And very few people do, but it's always old people. It's always people that are above like the age of 50 or above the age of 40. Even sometimes I see adults not make eye contact with me. And yeah, I mean, even technology is taking over like adults' minds and stuff. So when it comes to the conversation of kids, like the young generation is being exposed to too many screens and technology all the time, it's like, okay, what do we do about this? But the thing is, adults are also addicted in the same way. So it's not like most adults are addicted to their phones anyway, so they can't look at their kid and be like, get off your phone, go outside, because they don't do that. They don't do it either. So right, like set by example. And even if they do, their kids, a kid models their parent. If their parent isn't going outside, not if their parent is using their phone all the time, they're gonna do the same thing. So I think the first step is adults in general need to stop, not stop, but reduce how much they're using their screens because it's affecting their kids. And also, my cousin, a couple of my cousins, younger cousins, they won't eat their food, and their parents will have to like forcefully feed them food, and they won't eat unless they get to watch something on the phone. So usually, like if they can't watch Paw Patrol, Cocomelon, PJ Masks, or whatever, what other shows, or I even see some of my cousins watching, you know, unboxing videos on YouTube. Like one of my cousins was watching a Beyblade unboxing video. Like what? Oh no, bro. They won't eat their food unless they can they can be stimulated in some way. They need to be distracted so that their parents can feed them. Like how like what? Does no one else see how big of a problem that is? These kids won't eat their food unless they get to watch TV. They won't eat their food. A like a vital, very important thing that humans do and we need to do unless they get to do something stimulating, something distracting. So they don't want to do the thing that is very important, eating. They don't want to do it. Eating is linked because they've done it so many times. Their parents, when they try to make them eat, they don't eat, and then they show them the phone and they distract them. And now, from now on, it's not the baby's fault or the kid's fault. But now they're like, they associate eating with also watching TV. So if TV is not there, then they're not eating. Right? They can't eat without the TV. But they can watch TV without eating, right? Because they don't want to eat. But eating is very important, right? Like I was a kid that was more raised on YouTube. I think I started watching YouTube when I was like 7 years old, which like, now that I think about it, that's pretty young. 7 years old, I was being exposed to so much stuff like on the internet. YouTube, like I was 11 years ago. So back in like 2012 or something, I was on YouTube. So I've seen YouTube kind of progress, the older days with all like the gaming stuff and then the vlog stuff and then now where it is now with like Mr. Beast type content and stuff. But there's so much influence on YouTube. So I watched a lot of gaming videos on YouTube and I became a gamer. I had like a gaming personality, more like one of those cringe, you know, stereotypical gaming type people. That's how I was because that's what I watched. So the influence you get from the internet is very big. Before it used to be before the internet existed, it was like your parents and then the people around you, your friends. That's who influenced you. That's who made you who you are. But now the YouTubers that you watch, the influencers, content that you consume is who you are. So the fact that these kids are being exposed to it at like even younger than I was, like I was exposed to at 7. These kids are finding out what YouTube is at like 4 years old and maybe 3 years old, and they're watching this stuff nonstop, TV, PJ Masks, and Paw Patrol. This is a major problem, and the thing is like, how do you even counteract this? I was shit talking a bunch of parents like, oh, the parents are showing these kids TV and stuff. But like realistically, if a parent doesn't give their kid a phone nowadays, or doesn't let them play video games, or doesn't buy them a PS5 or whatever, they're going to be excluded from the rest of the people at school. So as a parent, it makes you kind of a bad person if you don't do that stuff. So I really can't even blame them, right? I remember most of the people my age got phones in 6th grade, which is 11 years old. I got mine in 8th grade, which is 13 years old. So for those 2 years, I was so mad at my parents all the time. Like, please, like, get me a phone, please, 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 please. Because everyone had a phone, and I was the only one that didn't, right? It was like a very small percentage of people that didn't have a phone. So when you're that one kid that doesn't have a phone, or doesn't have, you know, a computer to play video games, or doesn't have a console or whatever, you feel left out. And that sucks. I mean, like, no parent wants their kids to be left out, right? When a kid is surrounded by all these other kids that have, all these gadgets and stuff, they're going to be influenced and they're going to want them and they're going to ask their parents repeatedly and repeatedly. So you have all these kids asking their parents constantly for like, oh, I want this, I want this. That's why I feel like that's why people are more materialistic nowadays, because we see people on the internet having all these things, right? Before, when the internet didn't exist, it was just the people around you that influenced you, but now it's the people on the internet, and a lot of the people you see on the internet are influencers, and they have a lot of money. They have a lot of things. They can be materialistic, and that influences the common person. Now, there are some good things that can come from the internet, right? Like, there's a lot of things you can learn on YouTube. Nowadays, if you need to learn how to do anything, how to make lasagna, go to YouTube. search up how to make lasagna, and you have like millions of videos of people teaching you exactly how to make lasagna. Like it's very useful. If you want to make an online business, you can search it up on YouTube. If you want to learn how to make YouTube videos, you can search it up on YouTube. Like you can find anything on YouTube. You can learn anything on YouTube. That's a very good positive, and that's a good way. That's a good use of influencing. But it's very hard to control that, especially with little kids, because you don't know what little kids will click on, right? Little kids have much more different brains to what we have. They will click on different things, and the whole age thing on YouTube, like how some videos are age restricted, right? Only 18 and up can watch. But the thing is, every kid lies about their age. Like I know a lot of YouTubers, they'll say the a big insult on YouTube is that your audience is made up of kids, right? That's a big insult that YouTubers throw around it to other YouTubers. But the thing is, most people's audience is full of kids, because I know, I think most of the demographic on YouTube is about 18 to 25. But that like at least half of those people are kids, teenagers, maybe even younger than 10 years old, lying about their age just so they could watch age restricted videos. So there's no way to keep little kids off of things that they shouldn't be seeing. But yeah, that's it for this video. Would you let Cocomelon raise your kids? Because I know I wouldn't, but that's up to you.